guys, welcome to a new tutorial video. We'll be making this outfit. Okay, this is my recreation of the outfit. It's an A-line mini dress, okay, that has a turtleneck. So the first thing you need to do, your measurements. You need your shoulder measurement from your shoulder to your chest line, from your shoulder to your half length or your waist, from your shoulder to your hip, your gown length, your bust circumference, waist circumference, hip circumference, and your bust span. Now for this outfit, the darts we need are neck darts, princess darts, your pocket, right? So now let's input our measurements. Okay, so if it's your first time in my channel, you're welcome. Please click on the subscription button and subscribe, like, and share the videos. If you're an existing subscribers, welcome, my darling. So guys, the first thing you need to do is to take your measurements, right? So I've taken my shoulder measurements. Now the trick in this outfit is you have to extend your shoulder, okay, a little bit. So I added 1 more inch. I added 1 inch after marking my shoulder measurement. So if your shoulder is 18, for example, right, you're going to mark 9 inches. That's 9 plus 9 is 18, right? Then you extend your shoulder by 1 inch. So the total shoulder measurement you're going to be marking is going to be what? 10. Do you get? Then you mark your armhole. So but if you don't know how to draft a simple gown bodice, I have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a bodice. You can watch that video before coming back to this one so that you understand it better, but I still explained. Do you get? So now I've marked my armhole area. Now I'm going to mark the measurements that I mentioned earlier, from my shoulder to my chest line, from my shoulder to my hip line, to my half length, your half length or your half cut, right? Then from your shoulder to your hip line, then from your shoulder to the gown length. That's the length of your gown. Remember, this gown is short, is a mini gown, so it should be above your knee, okay? But if you want yours below, it's still fine, but from the illustration it is above the knee. Okay, so now I'm going to input this measurement, and the next thing I'm going to do is to just draft out my armhole and input all the horizontal measurement. So for your chest line, right, remember you're going to mark from your shoulder to your bust point. Do you get? So now for your bust point, you do your bust divided by 4 plus the amount of the excess allowance you want. I always say add more allowance. It's better your material is in excess than for it to be in shortage. Now for your hip line, you see that the outfit has like a curvy from your waist to your hip line. The curve is very pronounced. Okay, see what I'm trying to say? That's when you get to your waistline towards the hip line, you see that the curve is very pronounced. Can you see how the curve is, right? So to get that curve, right, after your waist on your hip line, right, you add 4 inches on your hip line, your hip measurement. So if your hip measurement, like for this tutorial now, my hip measurement is 42. The hip measurement I'm working with is 42, right? What you're going to do is 42 divided by 4, right? Whatever you get plus 4 inches or 5 inches extra. This is what is going to give us that whole hip cut. That's how am I going to the shape now, that arcing in your hip line. Okay, so that's how for the hip, this measurement is the only thing. That's what you do for only the hip line, so that when you do it, can you see how I'm creating that shape on that hip line area from the hip line to the waist area? Normally you just draw it a straight line, but I'm curving it. Can you see what I'm doing? So to give it that shape. Now for the gown length. So now for the gown length, you can decide that your gown length, the length of your gown is just going to be a straight gown. But for this tutorial, it's supposed to be an A-shaped gown, right? It's supposed to be an A-shaped gown. Do you get? There are different ways of cutting A-shaped gown, but because of this the shaping of the hip line, we're cutting it in a just simple gown form. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So now I've marked my measurement. I want to work on my neck area. Now you see what I explained earlier, right? Your shoulder divided by 2. Whatever you get, you mark it. Then you add 1 more inch. You're adding that 1 inch because if you look at the shoulder part, you see that the shoulder protrudes. That's it extends towards the sleeve part. Do you understand? That's why we are extending the shoulder by 1 inch. You can also decide not to extend yours. This is just preference, your preference, what you want, okay? And how comfortable it is for you and your clients. Do you get? So you mark your armhole. We already know how to mark our armhole, right? I don't need to explain that for us. If you don't know how to do it, please watch my other tutorial videos, especially how to draft your simple bodies, and you will get it perfectly. Okay? So now for the neck area, right? I'm just marking it for us to see. For the neck area, I'm going to mark my neck to be like 5 inches wide. Now, see the trick. The reason why I'm marking it 5 inches wide, normally neck is 3 by 3, 3 inches wide, 3 inches deep, okay? But I'm marking mine 5 inches wide because if you look at the picture we're working with, you see that the neck area has a neck dart, right? And if you're creating a dart for any part of your outfit, you have to make if you're cutting your outfit, you have to make it in SS, so that when you create that dart, it's going to give you your original measurements of your client, right? So imagine we make the neckline, the normal neckline. If you create your dart, by the time you remove ½ inch for one dart, ½ inch for one dart, that's what? 1 inch. So if you mark your normal neckline, your neck measurement, that's 3 inches, you see that at the end of creating your dart, what are you having? You're having just 2 inches. And that's not enough for your neckline. You see the reason why we added that 1 inch? One of the main reasons is for what? The neckline, your neck darts. All right? So normally, my neck measurement is supposed to be 5 inch, is 4 inches, 4 by 4. Do you get? But I'm marking 5 inches because I want to use 1 inch. I want to use 1 inch to mark my neck darts. Hope you understand. So now I'm going to dip my neck by 1 inch because it is a turtleneck outfit. All right, so I just dipped it by 1 inches and 1 inch, and I think we're good to go. Okay, so can you see I just dipped it by 1 inch. So now I want us to mark our chest, our princess darts. Do you get? I want us to mark our princess dart. Normally I would say let's first draft it on pattern first before marking it, but let me just show you the very easy. You don't need to start drafting it on pattern. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So the first thing you need to do is to get your nipple to nipple, your bust span, okay? And then you mark your bust span on your bust area. Can you see what I did? Then you mark the same thing on your hip line. Now remember, the dart does not cross through your hip. Sorry, you mark the dart your bust span from your bust span to your half length, that's your waist. Now on your hip line, you go up by 3 inches or 4 inches, right? And then you mark your bust span. Can you see what I did? Now on your armhole area, you connect it. I already have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a princess dart bustier. Okay, so if you've watched that tutorial, you understand exactly what I'm doing here. All right, but if you've not watched it, I think you should go back to that tutorial video and watch it. You understand exactly what I'm doing here. The difference between this and that is I am cutting directly on my fabric, and secondly, I'm not creating that whole bust. I'm not giving it the print that bustier. No, this is just a simple princess dart. Yes, this is a simple princess dart that doesn't have what? A bustier. Now you ask me what's the difference? The difference is the bustier has a breast shape. The princess dart doesn't have what? A breast shape. So the princess dart for the front and the back, they are the same. The difference is at the front area, you see I came down by 1 inch. You see, after cutting it, you see that there's a space that I have to join. That's just it. That's the difference between the front and the back. Okay, now I added 1 inch by the side just because of that princess dart, just in case. I always tell my students it's better you add your allowance in excess than not to add enough allowance. It's better your material is in excess than for you not to have enough material. If your material is in excess, what do you need to do? Just cut out the excess. But if you don't have enough material, you start patching and it doesn't look good. Okay, so now I've made my princess dart and I've marked my neckline. Now I'm going to decide where my neck dart is going to be. So that 5 inches I divided by 2, I got 2.5. So I'm going to mark my dart exactly where 2.5 is. Can you see what I'm marking? So I'm just going to notch that area. That's where my neck dart is going to be, and the neck dart is slant. Can you see how it's looking? So this is how to draft the front part. So I'm just going to cut it out for you to see. All right, please, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. This outfit is very simple, but it's somehow delicate. You can't just draft it just like that. If you draft it without a princess dart, it will look so plain. It wouldn't even have shape. And then secondly, now see what I was trying to explain. You see this front part, I cut out 1 inch. I came down by 1 inch. Do you get? So that the princess dart will sit directly on my bust area and on my armhole area. Do you get? That's just the difference. This is optional. You can decide not to do it. This is optional, but I like to do it. Okay? So now I'll always advise that if you're making this outfit, please make it with a strong fabric. I made a mistake. I used a very soft crepe, and it really stressed me because the process, it wasn't not giving that shape by the hip part. So I advise you use this material they used to do a butt nyash pad. I don't know what they call it in your area. It's thick like foam. I think that material is very good. Then you can use a thick cotton or a thick crepe. Do you get? Those thick fabrics are better than the soft one. The soft ones will stress you. Okay, but I already bought the fabric, so we have to do the tutorial. All right, so now guys, this is the front pattern. Now I'm going to use the front pattern to draft out the back pattern. All right, the difference between the front and the back is the zipper allowance area. Can you see? Just the zipper allowance area, because the neck part you're going to still dip it 1 inch because we are making it a turtleneck. So for the zipper allowance area, I just went in by 1 inch to just create that whole shape of the back, to make the back not to bulge out. Do you get? I went in by 1 inch and then I just created it. Can you see what I'm doing? That 1 inch, you're going in by 1 inch on your waist area, mind you. So you're going to mark from your shoulder to your waistline or your half length. When you mark it out, that's where you're going to create that shape. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And then you cut it out. Now if you watch, you see that towards that zipper allowance area that I just created a little a shape form, right? That is optional too. You can decide to cut yours in an A shape form or just cut it straight. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The most important thing is that at the end of this, we're still going to get that whole shape of the outfit. Okay, so now as I was saying, when I was cutting the front one, I forgot to add that A shape, so I'm just going to add it at the back one and just extend it. Okay, I just want us to see how it looks. All right, so guys, please, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click on the subscription button and subscribe, like and share the videos. And if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try my best to explain exclusively for you. Okay, so guys, this is the back area. Are you seeing how I'm creating the A shape form for the back area? You see how wide it is, right? If you look at the picture, you see that the gown is an A shape gown. Okay, so now I'm going to cut it out and you see how it's going to look. Now you see that shaping of the hip area. You see what I'm trying to say? Okay, so guys, I'm just cutting it out just for you to see, so you can cut yours too. Now can you see the difference between the front and the back? You can make yours a straight gown, you can make yours an A-shape gown. It depends on you. Now that shape on the hip area, you seen how curved it's looking? So I'm just going to join material at that part to just make it an A shape. Do you get? And then we are good to go. So now guys, now you know I said we'll use the back pattern to cut the front pattern to cut the back pattern. Now the difference is, you know that part I opened up at the front pattern, I won't open it up at the back pattern. Do you get? You know I said it was optional. Do you understand? So the only thing I'm going to do is to mark out my armhole, right? Extend it by 2 inches and then just create. I see what I'm doing. Just mark out the line. Do you get? Now you can easily draft out your back pattern on its own without using the front. Okay, but what's the need when you already have your front pattern? The only difference is that place I came down at the princess dart by 1 inch. That opening is, you won't have that wide opening at your back pattern. That's just it. Every other thing for the front pattern and the back pattern are the same. Okay, do you get what I'm trying to say? Please, if you have any question in this Princess Dart bustier area, just let me know so that I'll explain it better, or I make another video. All right, so I've drafted out my bustier, the Princess Dart. Okay, and so I'm just going to cut out my pattern, right? So after cutting out my pattern, because my fabric is really very soft, I'm going to use a lining for this outfit. But if your fabric is thick, you don't need a lining. You just need to cut a facing for the neck area. Okay, you just need to cut a facing for the neck area, but I won't be using a facing because, as I said earlier, I'm going to use a lining. Okay guys, you see what I was saying at the Princess Dart area. You see, I just cut it open. Can you see? There's no extra opening. It's just a straight line. Can you see where our Princess Dart stopped? 3 or 4 inches above your hip line. Okay, now our pattern is set. As I said earlier, I'm using a lining. Okay, so I'm just going to cut out the back part for you to see the shape and how it's going to look. Can you see how I cut it? You know, I said earlier that back part is going to have like an A line, not like an A-line shape. You see the back part is a little bit wide, not straight. So, but that back part is optional. Okay, and then you cut out your fabric. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, so guys, I'm done cutting my lining. Okay, can you see I'm done cutting my lining? So we're going to work on the front pattern before we work on the back pattern, but it's almost the same thing. So I'm going to turn up the lining with the fabric because I don't want the stitching to show at the bottom part. Can you see? I already taught how to turn up a lining and fabric like so. I do this almost all my outfits that I make here. I turn them up, especially when I'm using lining. So you turn it up, close the Princess Dart area, and then you draw your darts for your neck area. Okay, that's all you need to do. You draw your darts for your neck area. So for the neck area, as I said earlier, the neck dart is going to be 4 inches long and it is slant. Can you see I'm creating that slant? I'm just marking the line how slant is going to be. The dart is not straight, it's slant. Most neck darts are always slant. If you make it straight, it doesn't make sense. So you first mark it on your fabric, right, before you take it to your machine, and then you sew it. Now the length of the dart is preference to you. I made mine 4 inches, but you can make yours 5, but don't make it longer than 5 so that it won't get up to your Princess Dart. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to first of all draw your darts, close your Princess Dart area. Can you see how the dart is looking? Slantly. Can you see how it's looking? It's looking very fine. Then you iron. Okay, so because my fabric is very soft, I added strong gum stay from the hip area down. I added strong gum stay. So if you already bought your fabric or you are using a soft fabric, you don't want to waste money, you can use a strong gum stay. Can you see? I just ironed a strong gum stay from the hip line down just to define the A line. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now it's time for us to do the pocket. Is a blank pocket because you can't put your hand inside it. Okay, so all you just need to do, cut your fabric into 2 to the shape that you want, right, the width and the size that you want. Okay, and then you turn it. I turned mine up with a lining because I don't want so many stitches to be on the fabric. You get? I turned mine up with a lining, but you can just, if you have a weaving machine, you can just weave the edges and then you place it like so. Now you can decide to place your blank pocket straight, vertically or horizontally. It depends on your preference. When you have an outfit that you want to illustrate or you want to replicate, most times you can just tweak it a little bit. Do you get? You can just tweak it a little bit. You can't just maybe give it garbage in, garbage out, unless maybe you're making it for a client and the client says do exactly what is there. But if it's for you as a designer, I can just tweak it a little bit. It doesn't hurt. Okay, so I've turned mine up, I've closed it up, and then I'm just going to sew it. I'm using my dart legs to as like my guide on this pocket. Okay, so now make sure that your pocket is starting from where your dart stopped. Where your dart stopped, that's where your pocket is going to be. Start from. Okay, most times I tell people you can measure from your shoulder to 19 inches, or you measure your client, ask your client, where do you want your pocket to be, or your blank pocket? All right, but I fixed my pocket directly where my dart stopped, so that people will be wondering, is this dart longer? How did the dart? Do you understand? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So this is how I'm going to fix my dart. I'll take it to my machine and sew it. So after sewing it, I did the same thing for the back area. I've closed, can you see the pocket? For the back area, all I did is just close my princess dart too. There's no dart for the back area, but I just decided to create a dart for the neck area of the back. I just felt I've never seen a dart at the back area of a neck and outfit, so let me just do it. So I created both a dart leg for my neck area, all right, for the back. Then I joined both of them. So now for this outfit, what you need to do is to join your shoulder and join the sides. Don't fix your zip yet. Okay, don't fix your zip yet until you fix that turtleneck. All right, so now I'm going to measure the length of the neck area. Can you see? So I've joined the shoulder of this outfit, I've joined the sides. Okay, now the only open part in this outfit is what? The center back. That's where we are going to fix our zip. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Now for this neck area, you just get your fabric, fold it like this, right? You determine how the length that we marked. We got 19 inches long. Now I'm going to make, I removed 1 inch from the neck depth, right? So I'm going to make the length of the turtleneck to be like 1.5, so that when I join it to the neck by 1 inch, then the 1 inch that I removed is going to be on the neck area. Do you get? It's going to come. But if you want your turtle to be more than that 1 inch, you can cut out 2 inch or 2.5, but it will be too long. Okay, so I cut out 1.5. So this fabric is 1.5 inches wide and 23 inches. So 23 inches long. Okay, so now I'm going to cut it. Now let me show you how to fix your turtleneck so that it will be very neat. It won't look shabby. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to fix it like this. Can you see how I'm fixing it? Sew it right round first before you now turn it up and fold it and close it up to make it neat. Do you get? Can you see how neat it's looking inside? So the first step is to join one part. I've joined it. Can you see? I've joined it. Now to close up that rough area, you fold the other edge by 1/2 inch. Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing? And then you cover it up. Now you match it down. You sew on top of it. Do you get? When you're done, you see that the inner part of your turtleneck is looking very neat. Now let's come to the sleeves. Now the sleeve of this outfit is a cap sleeve. Can you see the turtleneck area? Can you see how neat it's looking? So you just need to fix your zip. Now you can now fix your zip. Okay guys, so this is the final part. So for the sleeves, I'm going to just make a simple basic sleeve for the dress. Okay, so I already have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a basic sleeve using freehand or pattern drafting, so you can watch that tutorial video to draft out your basic sleeve. Okay, so I've drafted out my basic sleeve. All I need to do is to cut it out on my fabric and then fix it on the outfit, then fix my zip. Okay, so I'm done fixing it and this is how my sleeve looks. I fixed my zip. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please click on the subscription button and subscribe, like and share the video. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section and I'll try my best to explain further. Okay, thank you for watching. See you on my next tutorial. Bye.